The Yankees, they won their third straight game on Friday night. 3-0 was their victory over the Tigers in the Motor City. So let's talk some Bronx Bombers baseball. We're going to do it with the Yankee beat reporter for the New York Post, my guy Greg Joyce, who joins me now from Detroit. Greg, how is it going?
Doing well, Dexter. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Yankees seem to be doing well right now, 3 straight wins. And Greg, want to start this off by talking about pitching, because Gerrit Cole last night just threw his first scoreless outing of the season. What does this performance say about his current form, and how crucial is it that he keeps this current form moving forward?
Yeah, it's big for them down the stretch. If they want to go anywhere in October, and especially, they still got 6 weeks to get to October, but it has to be with Gerrit Cole pitching the way he's capable of. It's been a mostly frustrating season for him, missing the first two and a half months with the elbow issue, and then kind of some ups and downs since he came back. But really, since he got scratched the day of the trade deadline for general body fatigue, which seemed a little bit alarming at the time, but he ended up pitching a few days later, and now 3 start stints. I think he has a 1.59 ERA. Starting to look a lot more like himself. Last night was his first scoreless outing of the season, 6 shutout innings. Obviously, the lineup last night wasn't anything too fearsome, but just doesn't really matter at this point. They need to just get him in a groove, and he looked a lot closer to that last night. He had a couple of strikeouts looking, which tells you he's really locating that fastball, and then the curveball seems to be playing off of it pretty well right now. So it's big for them to get him back on track. It's he's still only 10 starts into the season, which is where he would be if it was May or June in a regular year, but he's starting to look more like himself, which is big for the Yankees.
Yeah, that's huge for the Yankees, and they're hoping he can have the same form for them down the stretch of the season. Yankees, and now, as I mentioned, they've secured 3 straight wins, including the shutout against the Tigers. What's been the key factor in your eyes in them turning things around in their recent performances when the Yankees have looked solid?
Yeah, I think a lot of it has been the starting pitching. When they were the best team in baseball through the first 2.5 months of the season, it was like every night their rotation was going out 5, 6, 7 innings and giving them a chance to win. And then when they went through that bad stretch there, their starters had been, a huge reason for that. I think had one of the worst rotation ERAs in the majors over the, whatever it was, a month and a half. And they're starting to get back on track. There's still been a few hiccups here and there. But Carlos Rodon, who pitches today, has looked a lot better of late. Nestor Cortez on Tuesday in Chicago had a really strong outing, 7 innings, saved the bullpen a little bit, which the bullpen has been starting to show some cracks. And they've been used a lot, but Nestor went 7. So it's stuff like that. Just that if you're getting your starting pitching going out there every day and whatever it is, 5, 6, 7 innings, a couple runs, with the offense clicking the way it has been lately, that's huge. And obviously we know what Aaron Judge and Juan Soto have done, but they've gotten a little bit more lineup length too when you have Austin Wells batting cleanup and a couple other guys, starting to hit well. So, it's a good combination for the Yankees to have right now.
Yeah, huge combination. Starting pitching, as you mentioned, has been solid. Offense coming through. Got the combination of both of those things going together, and you're feeling pretty good. Now, the Yankees, in a roster move, they recently called up Tim Meza to fortify the bullpen. How do you see his role impacting the team in late game situations?
Yeah, it's an interesting call-up. Last year, Tim Meza was, we saw plenty of him. He was a lefty for the Blue Jays, had a ERA in the 1s last year, I think it was. And then this year really struggled, got DFA'd by the Blue Jays, and the Yankees signed him to a minor league deal last month. His fastball velocity had been down with the Blue Jays. When he signed with the Yankees, he spent about a week at their minor league complex in the pitching lab, kind of straighten out his mechanics, which he said has gotten his velocity back up to where it needs to be. He had some good results at AAA. So, we'll see how they use him here. Right now, he's the second lefty in a bullpen. Try to get him against some lefty lanes. The Tigers have a lot of lefties in their lineup, so I wouldn't be surprised if he gets out there today or tomorrow. But it's almost they kind of want to see what they have in him. They had a couple candidates at AAA to get called up: Scott Efros, Nick Birdie, Ron Marinaccio, who's been up and down. But I think they wanted to see what they had in Meza, the guy who's been through AL East battles, and when he's right, he can be a tough lefty on lefty. So they kind of need that. Tim Hill's their only other lefty right now, or before they called up Meza yesterday. So it's important to see what they have in him down the stretch and seeing if he can be a guy that can impact them late.
All right, we will see what Meza has. Indeed, Yankees will get a look at him hopefully over the next couple games, week or so. Last thing for me, Greg, we were talking about this before we started recording. Aaron Judge, he's on a path that could see him breaking Barry Bonds' home run record. What's been different in his approach this season after the rough April that he had, and do you view him as a better hitter than when we saw him break the AL record for home runs in the season 2 years ago?
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. You see a season like 2022, and you think it's tough to repeat or have anything kind of close to that, and this season almost seems to be better. Like you said, especially after what was a quiet April to, he's been on a complete tear since then. He's up to batting 333, so it's not just the power, but obviously he's getting fewer pitches to hit. But when pitchers make mistakes, or even the other night when he hit his 43rd for 300th career home run, it was an inside sinker off the plate, and he still turned on 3-0 pitch after they walked Soto to get to him. So he's just on a different level than almost everybody else right now. 44 home runs now. It's conceivable he could be at 50 by the end of the month, and then who knows where they go in September. And if he takes another shot at breaking his own record at 62. So it's been pretty crazy. Like I said, teams are giving him fewer pitches to hit. We've seen a lot more intentional walks the last couple of weeks. I think it's helped having Austin Wells hitting well behind him and Giancarlo staying back. And not every team takes that intentional walk approach, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see how teams approach him over these last 6 weeks. But if there's anything in and around the plate, he's been doing damage on it.
Yeah, that's been the most impressive part, not seeing as many pitches, good pitches, I should say, to hit. He's still smacking them out of there. We'll see if that continues. The Yankees continue their series with the Tigers this weekend. They are looking to try to make it 4 wins in a row on Saturday. That is Greg Joyce, Yankees beat writer for the New York Post, doing a great job covering the team. Greg, always good to see you. Always good to talk some Yankee baseball. We will talk again soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, Dexter.